Oh yeah, and you know, Ray, if you want to start anything over again, go for it. Okay, groovy.
Don't say for all that other.
Please, unless you want to pay for all those. I'm so thrilled to be sitting down with
man, you kidding me? It's my thrill. I mean, this is the first great late night show in Austin, Texas.
That's the kindest thing I could even imagine. Thank you for saying that. It's a big time for you. Next year, Asleep at the Wheel will be celebrating your 50th anniversary.
Hard to believe, but yeah, that's a fact. This is a fact. It's not a fake news, it's a fact.
It's incredible is what it is. When you started this band, what was your intention back then?
To play music, to have fun, and maybe last 10 years, you know. That would have been, you know, my idea of success, but that's why it is kind of exceptional.
Your idea of success was a decade. Here you are almost 5 decades later. It's incredible.
A lot of luck, a lot of hard work, and a lot of wonderful people. Sleep at the Wheel has been this collective of over 100 musicians, 50 or 60 road people, management, etc. It really has been an incredible experience with so many people.
Where did Asleep at the Wheel begin?
Paw Paw, West Virginia. I know, she's going, are you kidding me? Seriously, in 1969, I was in college. My two pals, one was in Boston in college and another was in Maryland in college. And so we're going to form a band. It was Lucky and Leroy. We've had some friends that were caretaking a farm in West Virginia and said we could come help with the farm work and start a band. So we did.
So how'd you get to Texas?
Well, first I went to California.
Okay.
We formed a band, and we met Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen, and they had us come out to California. Got a record deal. Van Morrison came down to a club one night and liked us and put us on some shows, and then mentioned us to Rolling Stone, which back then meant everything. All of a sudden we had a record deal, and we were playing in Dallas and met Willie Nelson, who'd heard about us. And then we played in Austin in '73, February of 1973 at the Armadillo World Headquarters, and it was like, well, why wouldn't we move to Austin, Texas? It was the greatest place in the world and still is. You know.
I'm glad to hear you say that, and still is. A lot has changed in those 50 years. What's still the same about the band and you?
I'm the only thing that stayed the same. That's about it. But the town, of course, has changed, and the music, it was 45 RPM records and albums, and then these things called cassettes came out. I mean, so that's how far back I go. It's been through 8-tracks, CDs, and now streaming, etc.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother ball of wax.
You mentioned Willie Nelson. Y'all are good pals. What has that friendship meant to you over the years?
I wouldn't be here or anywhere, I don't reckon, without Willie. You know, we met way back when we were still playing little clubs and creating this Austin scene, you know. And he's been the best friend, you know. He put us on shows when times were bad. Disco hit, and it wasn't so great for Asleep at the Wheel. He let us go in his recording studio for 4 years. We kept recording, and in fact he did duets with me.
Wow.
And finally got back on track in the mid-'80s. He came from the same place we came from 20 years earlier.
Austin City Limits taping. You were the first episode.
Yeah, Willie did the pilot in '74, and in '75 we did the first one. They asked us who we wanted on the show with us, and we said the Texas Playboys, and that was Bob Will's band. I think we've done 13 or so now.
That is so incredible. The first episode.
Well, my roommate, Joe Gracie, was a DJ at KOKE-FM, the original one, and he was hired to book the show. We lived on South 6th Street down in the Bolden Street neighborhood, which was the cheap neighborhood, along with Jimmy Vaughn, Stevie Vaughn, everybody. We were all broke, but if you lived in South Austin, you weren't broke because it was so cheap, you know. And so
it's a block of legends over there.
Yeah, I mean, the first year I was Jimmy Buffett, I remember, because he was just a songwriter, and you know, all the guys around town. It was very local, you know, and that's what was so great about it. That was '75, and then Stevie and those Jimmy didn't come along until the late '70s, early '80s, and that was a whole nother incredible explosion of great music, and it continues to happen every 10 years, and what we all tried to do was make this a great place for musicians to live, Austin, Texas.
And you sure did.
Yeah, it's a little expensive now, but they're still coming, and so we just try to help.
What might you tell your younger self then that you know now? Is there a message you would give to that kid in the '70s?
Well, you know, I think the only thing I would tell myself is to be a little more patient. But if I'd been more patient, then maybe not have gotten where I went.
Yeah, exactly. It all works out the way it's supposed to, doesn't it?
And nothing's gonna bring me down. Yeah, she's mine.
Do you remember what it felt like when you won your first Grammy?
Well, it's a funny story. We were in Lubbock, Texas, because we didn't think we were going to win. It was not a good night. We were playing a place called the 8 Second Ride, which is about bull riding, you know. So it was a country dance hall. The guy couldn't pay us the meager amount we were getting. And the guy comes on the bus and said, hey, they're emptying out the pool tables to pay us in quarters and dollars and everything. And this guy comes out the bus, hey, I just saw on the news that y'all won a Grammy in LA. I went, yes, I was not impressed. I said, really? I don't believe it. And then sure enough, all of a sudden we didn't have mobile phones, so nobody could call. And they sent it to us in the mail.
Don't go anywhere. After the break, we're back with more Ray Benson.
Hey, I'm Joe Abels, Saxon Pub, and you're watching Austin After Hours. Come see us.
Do y'all still say in your band, if you dance, you got a chance?
Well,
What does that mean?
guys.
The longevity of your career speaks to how much you are truly doing what you love. How do you describe your relationship with music?
It's my mistress. I keep telling my girlfriend that, you know, it's something that you wake up with and go to sleep with. I write songs, I play guitar, I learn, produce other people, I get ideas and wake up with something to do every day.
What have you been inspired by recently?
I've been producing the ukulele player Jake Shimabukuro, the wonderful ukulele player. If you have not heard of Jake Shimabukuro, put Jake Ukulele into your Google machine. He's amazing, and he's a ukulele guy in Hawaii, and he plays virtuoso. And we did 2 songs with Willie Nelson, 2 songs with Michael McDonald. He's recording with Jack Johnson now. Bette Midler's doing a song. He's amazing. He does the Bohemian Rhapsody on the ukulele.
Now, there's something you don't hear every day.
I'm serious, and he's a good pal of mine, and we've been working on this for a couple of years.
Let's boogie back to Texas.
How many shows a year are you doing?
I do 130, 40 shows a year, and that's what I live for. I mean, I love traveling, but I've seen every town in America twice, or 3 or 4 or 5 times.
I was already so grateful to get to be with you, and now to know what your schedule's like, even carving this out. Thank you for that.
No, it's my pleasure. I love this town, and every generation has to contribute something to the entertainment aspect of this town. And you're doing a great job. You get up in the morning, and I know this because I watch it, and then I have to watch The Price is Right, my favorite show on television.
We appreciate you.
You've gone through a number of hosts we've seen. Poor guys. I mean, God, look, she just wears them out. Sends them to go all into different cities and get gone, man. It's tough. That's why I came here saying maybe I can hang with her.
This is like maybe an audition for our future morning show?
Morning? No, you get up a little early. I get up that early, but I'm still in my kimono.
I'm gonna put my nickel in a slot machine, play solid center, I'm gonna strut, peck, Susie Q, 'cause I'm on a bender.
Katie was the newest singer, and she's 30 years old. She's from Fort Worth, and a wonderful fiddle player, but she had that quality of a voice, and I said, hey, and she also writes songs. I said, come on, let's jump on it, see what happens for a few years, and so she's been great, and all of the new guys. You know, when I was a young person, I played with older musicians, because musicians don't care how old you are, they just care if you can play. So when I was younger, I was always playing with older folks, and now I play with all younger folks because the older ones can't keep up with me.
If your life were a book, what would this chapter be called?
Well, I'll be 68 in March, so I don't want to say anything like the prologue or the...
Oh, no.
We just want to create, this is the creative part. This is when I think that I've learned enough about the craft of what I do that hopefully it'll turn into art. The difference between craft and art is a delicate balance, and I've certainly always tried to be very craftful, and now we're trying to be more artful within the craft.
Well, buckle up, everybody. If this is just the beginning of your creative stage, there are so many good things in store.
Yeah, it really is a wonderful feeling. I remember talking to, old Bob Schneider, who was such a creative, wonderful guy here in town, and he said, people don't realize how much we work on one word. I think it was Mark Twain who said the difference between the right and the wrong word is the difference between a firefly and lightning, It's quite a good way to think about it.
That is a good way. Something else I feel like I've seen you say. Do you all still say in your band, if you dance, you got a chance?
Well,
What does that mean?
guys.
I got 7 nights to rock. I got 7
The Texas Dance Hall series that
Yes,
you do.
yeah.
You bring people out to enjoy this music and keep this tradition alive. Can you speak to that a bit?
Well, here we are at the Broken Spoke, one of the great Texas dance halls. This is where when I came to Texas, we played dance halls mostly, but we were the only band that we could play the hippie rock joints and the dance halls because we could play the Cotton Eye Joe, the Schottish, the Two Steps, the Johnny Bush, Ray Price, Willie Nelson, Bob Wills stuff, And it's dancing to the music. It's what shapes the music of Texas and has since the 20s and 30s.
different chicken in a different place. 7 nights to rock. I got 7 nights to roll.
A lot of the dance halls fell into disrepair or disappeared. So a wonderful group of folks got together with the Texas Dance Hall Preservation, and they helped some of these ones which are community centers. The Broken Spoke was lucky and unlucky. In other words, unlucky because everything got built around it. When we first played here, you could park in the fields all over here, So we helped to keep them going. But it shapes the music because dance music is a great place for musicians to stretch out and learn how to play. Also, the combination of people dancing it's just a rhythm. I don't know. It's a feeling, And it's Texas. I mean, I think more than anything. People ask me, they say, well, I wasn't born here. I didn't grow up here. I got here when I was 21. But I came here to be a Texan, and part of that was experiencing Texas dance halls. I think a lot of people are looking for a simpler time when there was no cable TV. TV went off at 10 o'clock, and so everybody went out to the dance halls.
Yeah. Well, thank you for keeping that alive and that synergy like you talked about. So for Asleep at the Wheel, what are you hoping the legacy of your band is?
We've been through so much different stuff. Of course, we've helped to bring Bob Wills and Western swing music to the forefront again and to show its importance to Texas and music in particular. Hopefully we brought a lot of joy to people. I think that's really what it's all about for us.
Yeah, well, you definitely do, and you brought so much joy to us in this interview. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate your time so much.